Hello, fellow builders, and welcome to the Friday update for March the 26th, 2021. And, well, first and foremost, let me say thank you again to the guys over there at Interfleet Broadcasting for having me on their show last night. It was so much fun. As much fun as we had on camera, we got to chit chat a little bit before and after. It was so much. Guys, thank you. I appreciate it. But let's continue our Battlestar Galactica with this guy. As you can see, we've removed the tape from our Warbird, and it's it looks really, really good. We've already also gone on ahead and added our side ear details, and we've added the back piece, the painted louver on the back. So I also have sprayed a clear coat on the top of this so that it's all locked in. And now I can actually do a weathering pass and get a little scungy. But for right now, I think we're gonna just leave it. I just want to look at it. I know it is what it is. But the one other thing we needed to do was the T visor. This is an ever evolving process, and what I have done normally I use on the ends here industrial strength Velcro. And basically, I take my sandpaper, scuff that up, stick it down, do kind of the same thing inside, maybe scuff it up a little bit, and stick it down. But believe it or not, the industrial strength Velcro isn't always enough. Sometimes it just doesn't have enough. If there's any other forces acting upon it, if you just and it just needs to hold something down so it doesn't move around, that's fine. But if there's any other forces acting on it in any other direction, you're going to get peeling. It'll peel up. And I have that problem with my foam armor, especially if it's a piece that I need to, like the shoulder pauldrons that pop on, that I have to take off, or let's say I have to put them on after I put the piece over my head, and then those get stuck on. In taking them off in order to take the armor on and off, it ends up peeling the Velcro. So I tried something a little bit different. I used some 5-minute epoxy on the Velcro, as well as on the inside, the receiving halves. And so in theory, I should just be able to pop this in here really good and move it around if I need to. And it should stay right where I want it. Or at least pretty darn close. Well, I'm not going to argue with that. Now, granted, I don't have my headpiece in. Take the glass off. Okay. So, yeah, clearly we need to go in and put some headpieces in there. But this is the shelf looker for the moment. We're going to rest you right there. So for the short term, we're going to call that guy done. Okay? While we're on the subject of that guy, when I went to the hobby shop, I was going to use some Tamiya paint. And because of getting stock in is a problem, they didn't have any. And I went and picked up some of this Humbrol, which works well. I wasn't sure about it last week when I was talking about it. I hadn't made my final decision, and the biggest difference between, I think, this and the Tamiya's, this is acrylic and the Tamiya is enamel, and they spray differently. They have a different feel in the spray. This seems a little bit lighter, and so I can probably get the same amount of coverage from both size cans. I just have to adjust my spray. But the other major thing was the guys at the hobby shop said, "Hey, we can get this stuff now because the Model Master line is being discontinued." And apparently I'm about 2 years late to the game on this story. So I went to the internet and I looked up some information, and I went to Fine Scale Modeler and found an article from March 24th of 2020 where someone asked, "Hey, I heard there's some rumors that Model Master is going to be going away." And their response was, "Thank you for reaching out. As a manufacturer of paint products, we have a long history of producing hobby kits and supplies. To that, we are evolving our strategies to focus more keenly on Test Stores, our flagship brand, and are discontinuing our Pactra, Aztec, and Model Master brands as demand for these products continue to decline." Well, and that's one of those things where you kind of had to see it coming. As much as I love the Bondi kits, some of those kits don't really need to be painted. They look good right out of the box. I like all the Stormtroopers pretty much unpainted with the white because it's already glossy. And a lot of the Gundam kits, they come in multicolors on the plastic sheets, so like the horns will be red and this will be blue. They don't really require a lot of paint. And let's be honest, our world has changed and more people are going for maybe some of your high-end sideshow kits or whatever. So it's just kind of sad to see. I can remember when the Model Masters came out and I was so excited because that was right in my wheelhouse. I'm like, okay, I'm becoming a better modeler and this is helping me. And it's just kind of sad to see kind of a main staple of your hobby just kind of go away. On the flip side, I have used some of the Rust-Oleum. I've used a lot of the Rust-Oleum products. As a matter of fact, the ears on that are Rust-Oleum. And so as far as the metal paints, you're going to get more colors there. You're not completely losing out when it comes to some things. We're going to get some newer products that we would not have had. But I think the variety of colors, that's what I struggle with when I go to like one of the big box stores. The variety of colors for what I do is not necessarily there. So that's going to be the downside. But we're plowing through, with the pandemic, people getting vaccinated and everything. Hopefully we'll get people back to work and products will flow like they're supposed to, and the Tamiya will be back on the shelf, and now we have another option with the Humbrol. One thing I will say is I was definitely getting a chemical reaction between some of, because I had a little bit of, because the Warbird is, what was I using? I used that other stuff. All clad. Okay. I can say for a fact that I was getting some kind of a chemical reaction because when I put the clear coat on, there was something funky going on with the all clad that I used on this part. It was starting to bleed a little bit. And this is just the regular flat black paint. It seemed to react okay, but I was getting some cracking. Anyway, we got it going. So it looks like I'm in need of another project to start. And I have an idea, and I'll share it with you. Okay. I'm sure you guys, if you're aware, the Death Star attack set. And I've seen many different guys do. A lot of guys, what they're doing is they'll buy 2 and 3 of these kits, and they'll just make a. They'll either make a long single, because it makes kind of an L, and they'll make a long single hallway, or they'll butt the two together and make a kind of wide channel, Death Star channel. But what I want to do is I know, follow the instructions, do that, but let's step outside of the box a little bit. And so what I want to do is make like a landing bay. So picture, if you will. Okay. Let's see. Okay. So see, that's what it looks like, right there. So picture that, right? Because I've got 2 kits here. I might actually go get a 3rd. So what I'm thinking is where that part up there ends, that actually starts where the landing bay is going to be. So I want this to be maybe a little bit wider. And since I have 2 of these, I was going to have 2 of the turret guns on the ends protecting the landing. Because they always want to attack the landing bay. They always want to dive bomb it. So, I'm thinking post Return of the Jedi, maybe in the Alphabet Squad era, where maybe the rebellion has captured an Imperial base, like in an asteroid or something. So you've got the opening there. I don't know if it's going to be just like a star base or whatever, but we're just going to do the captured scene. So you're going to have maybe that be the bottom, and then it'll go to a flat top, but we'll have like the opening for a landing bay, and you should be able to see inside. And I was going to use all the ships of Alphabet Squad, and that will be like Alphabet Squad's secret base. That's kind of where I'm going with this. So it's 144 scale. So the ships are going to be kind of small. So there's your A-wing. It's kind of small. Sorry, it's kind of washed out by the light. Well, anyway, you get the idea. But that's kind of the idea I've got going right now. I don't know what happened there. The video just stopped. But anywho, so what's on my mind for what I'm going to build. So let's hear what you're going to go build. Again, it's going to be another halfway decent weekend, and it's prime time for you to be able to go out there and build something. So we're going to get that done, right? We all in agreement? So say we all. Okay. Have fun. Be safe. Go build something. All right. Pew 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 pew.